Hello everybody, it's Miss McGuinness. Today I'm going to read you the next part of The Enormous Crocodile by Roald Dahl. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, these are the next set of questions that I'm going to ask you about the enormous crocodile. Think of two adjectives to describe the roly-poly bird. What does the word luscious mean? Make a prediction. What is clever trick number 1? I wonder. Which word could we use to describe the enormous crocodile when he blends in with the trees? Predict what will happen next. Suddenly, okay, so if you remember, this is the last page we were on, where the crocodile had just bitten through the tree that Muggle Mump was sitting in, and it had come down. Let's see what happens next, shall we? But just in time, Muggle Mump jumped into the next tree and swung away through the branches. Oh, that was lucky. A bit further on, the enormous crocodile met the roly-poly bird. The roly-poly bird was building a nest in an orange tree. Hello there, enormous crocodile, sang the roly-poly bird. We don't often see you up here in the jungle. Ah, said the crocodile, I have secret plans and clever tricks. I hope it's not something nasty, sang the roly-poly bird. Nasty? Cried the crocodile. Of course it's not nasty. It's delicious. There's the roly-poly bird. Okay, this is where we ask our first question. Can you think of two adjectives to describe the roly-poly bird? Maybe look at her feathers and the colours she has. That might help you. Pause the video clip here and think about your answer. I hope you've paused it. Let's see what happens next. It's luscious, it's super, it's muscious, it's duper. It's better than rotten old fish. You mash it and munch it and chew it and crunch it. It's lovely to hear it go squish. Okay, now for our next question, we were looking at this word here, luscious. Can you think about what that word means? Have you ever heard it before? Pause the video clip here and have a think. It must be berries, sang the roly-poly bird. Berries are my favourite food in the world. Is it raspberries perhaps, or it could be strawberries? The enormous crocodile laughed so much, his teeth rattled together like pennies in a money box. Crocodiles don't eat berries, he said. We eat little boys and girls, and sometimes we eat roly-poly birds as well. Very quickly, the crocodile reached up and snapped his jaws at the roly-poly bird. He just missed the bird, but he managed to catch hold of her long, beautiful feathers in its tail. The roly-poly bird gave a shriek of terror and shot straight up into the air, leaving its tail feathers behind in the enormous crocodile's mouth. My goodness me, that was a lucky escape, wasn't it? Let's see what happens next. At last, the enormous crocodile came out of the other side of the jungle, into the sunshine. He could see the town not far away. Ho, ho, he said, talking out loud to himself. Ha ha, that walk through the jungle has made me hungrier than ever. One child isn't going to be nearly enough for me today. I won't be full up until I've eaten at least 3 juicy little children. He started to creep forward towards the town. The enormous crocodile crept over to a place where there was a lot of coconut trees. He knew the children from the town often came here looking for coconuts. The trees were too tall for them to climb, but there was always some coconuts on the ground that had fallen down. The enormous crocodile quickly collected all the coconuts that were lying on the ground. He also gathered together several fallen branches. "Now for clever trick number 1, he whispered to himself. "It won't be long before I am eating my first part of my lunch." Okay, so that was our next question. Can you predict what's going to happen in clever trick number 1? Oh dear. Don't think it's going to be good. Pause the video clip here and have a think. He took all the coconut branches and held them between his teeth. He grasped the coconuts in his front paws, and then he stood straight up in the air, balancing himself on his tail. Oh, can you guess what he wants to look like? Can you guess what he'll be? He arranged the branches and the coconuts so cleverly that he now looked exactly like a small coconut tree standing among the big coconut trees. Oh, that was one of our next questions, wasn't it? Which word could we use to describe the crocodile when he is pretending to be a coconut tree? Let's have a look at him. There he is. Can you pause the video clip here and have a think? Soon 2 children came along. They were brother and sister. The boy was called Toto. His sister was called Mary. They walked around looking for fallen coconuts, but they couldn't find any because the enormous crocodile had gathered them all up. "Oh, look!" cried Toto. "That tree over there is much smaller than the others, and it's full of coconuts. I think I could climb that one quite easily if you could help me up the first bit." Toto and Mary ran towards what they thought was the small coconut tree. Uh-oh, can you remember what it really is? The enormous crocodile peered through the branches, watching them as they came closer and closer. He licked his lips. He began to dribble with excitement. Okay, here's where we're going to stop. I will give you a clue for next time. The first word of the next page is suddenly. What do you think will happen? Make a prediction, and you'll see what happens in the next clip. Goodbye from Miss McGuinness.